What's up, adults, and welcome back to Help I'm an Adult podcast. Today on the podcast, I'm continuing in Couples Week with Anthony and Gio. If you're just listening to the podcast and you're not subscribed to the YouTube, well, go onto YouTube channel and you'll see the introduction to Anthony and Gio. And today we're basically going to just discuss their relationship and my relationship with them, and they're going to tell us basically the secret to, I guess, a successful relationship as a young adult. And I hope you guys enjoy. But again, you know the drill. Hit subscribe if you haven't, or subscribe to it on audio or on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube, on audio, whatever platform you're watching on. Subscribe, like, follow, whatever the indicator is for that. And also feel free to share the conversation and spread the word on Help I'm an Adult. You can also as well follow on Instagram. That's where I put most of my updates. And let's get into today's episode. Anthony and Gio, welcome to the podcast together.
Thank you, Sharon.
We've had Anthony before, and we're having Gio on the podcast for the first time. Hey. But I also know Gio is the sharer of all sharers. She'll be sharing this podcast on her stories like no man's business. And I'm grateful for that. And I feel like Gio is basically like, if she's my sister. Anthony's my brother, she's my sister. Like that's how it works. And I love this too so much. So before
we love you.
Oh, much love. It is the month of love, so it's expected to have some. I will start with how I met Anthony and how we met. We met in the hallway at work. That was my first encounter with Anthony. And I think it was your first day or maybe your second day. I don't really know what it was. And I remember I was going to the printer room, and you were. I can't remember who your buddy was. I think it was Go.
Yeah, it was Richard.
Yeah, and
it might be my second day because my first day I was with Barry a lot, and the second day I was my buddy.
Okay, so I think I heard about you on your first day from Barry and the uncles. They literally went in, and I was like, "Why are we going into details? Sure, I'll meet this dude whenever times I'll meet him." And then we met in the hallway, and I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you." And I think I don't know if I knew you were Nigerian or not at that point. I can't remember if they told me like the full details to that extent, but I just was like, "Oh, he seems like a chill dude." Like you were very professional. He had a whole like shirt and like I was like, "Damn,
I can imagine."
Ready to work." But over time, I think you and the boys and Tan and all of them, like you became close to Tan, and I was like, "Oh, he seems like a chill dude." And we just hung out a lot, and you were very keen to get involved at work, and I was like, "Oh, my kind of people."
Yeah.
My kind of people. And ever since we've just been friends. Like we've been vibing and thriving. And Anthony is also a very good, I won't say motivational speaker, because I feel like that's a job you should actually do, because the hype he has is unreal. Like Anthony is like the one, we've played basketball together and it's low-key like scary, but at the same time but at the same time, I'm like, that's the hype you need on the court.
Yeah.
You just need that hype. It's so fun. So Anthony is really chill and fun. And that's kind of how we met. Like we played, so he started the basketball club at work, and we played for like, I think it was like one summer that we had the opportunity to do that, which was really good.
Pretty much.
So how did you guys meet?
Sweet.
So we actually met on Tinder.
Okay. I think you're my second successful Tinder couple that I know.
Yeah,
one was
that's right.
And I think there's
that's right.
Yeah.
So we met on Tinder, and then
the way we matched is more the story, really, because obviously with Tinder there's so many people out there, singles out there, both men and women, and you and I all both know that like there are creeps out there.
And not everyone. Most of the time on Tinder, people aren't really serious. So we weren't even expecting like a relationship to develop, because
straight up
it's just it's just Tinder, and you don't really like expect it.
So we both went into the app with that mindset. Bear in mind, knowing that whatever happens. And then when we matched, so a part of my bio back then, this is something I'll never forget, is I dared whoever I matched with first. If you matched me last, I always dared you to like message me or say something funny, and then we go from there. And she did. She took my dare and she messaged me. I was like, "Oh, some brownie points. Let's see where this goes." Yeah. And obviously we took it away from there, and went and started to go on a few dates. And the rest is where we are now.
The rest is history.
Basically. So cute. I remember when Anthony was like, "Oh, I think this is gonna be serious." I remember you saying it to. I think you were talking to Tan, but I was in the room. But I was like, "Okay, Anthony, look at him, and I was just like, "Okay, that's cool. I'll meet her one day." And then I met Gio. I don't know how many months later this was, but I know it was May, because that's when that at a superhero run that we do for work, and you came with me. And so I was exhausted. I just driven an hour to get there. I barely had sleep, and we're just doing this. We're doing this for charity with some people from our office as well. And I just met you, and I just remember I didn't even think I was meeting you that day. I don't know why. I was just like, "Oh, Anthony's friend is here," and I was like, "Oh." As soon as I saw you, I was like, "Oh, that must be Gio." There we go. And immediately, you were like, "Hi," you're so hyped, and I was like, that makes sense.
Energy,
I was like, the energy matched so well. I was like, that's why this is it. I see it now. And that was it. And ever since, every time we hung out, and it was never, it's just, again, it's like I'm hanging out with my brother and sister who happen to be my age, so we're probably tripping.
It's so
at
true.
That point. But it just felt so, it's easy. And I like that, when most of my life, as you can imagine, if my friends have been a couple, I've felt like, I'm not saying I felt like the third wheel, but I like hanging out with couples who don't even make you feel like you're a third wheel in their relationship.
We
hang out, when pre-COVID, when we I'd come over after work sometimes, and we just chill and hang out, or I'd come and we'd do work together, and we're all sat there hanging, it's just friends all the way through. You guys always made me, at least I felt comfortable hanging out with you guys as a couple. But
that's
not feeling
nice.
like I was a third wheel either. Which I like. Which, to be fair, I feel like most couples need to actually be able to do that. Obviously, at some point, single people, if you have couple friends, if at any point you start feeling like they need to be alone, get the hell out. Let them be a couple. What you doing? That's the takeaway. But you guys have never made me feel that. But also, it's always don't overstay your welcome situation. That's how I. But I just love you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Just. Honestly, when I first met you, though, Sharon, I remember when I met you, I was like, this girl is so cool. You're just really easy to get on with, and just a really lovely girl. Yeah,
thank you.
Genuinely lovely person.
Oh, thank you. So let's get into the deets of.
Let's get it. I'm ready.
So, you've described how you met, and what you're like, oh, she took up a dare. So what has kind of kept the question I have written down is, what drew you to each other? So what was the initial, I know Tinder is not the serious thing, but what caused you to be like, I'll swap for this? Is it right, left? I don't remember. Whatever the way you match.
I remember. I'm not gonna lie.
You go first.
So with Anthony, it was, I could just tell his energy through just the pictures he chose and what he wrote in his bio and stuff. I could just tell that I would get on with him. I think his character just shone through in his pictures, so I just it just drew me just straight away, just drew me to him. And then I was like, I can tell me and him will have a good vibe together, good energy. And it was true. And then when we started talking, it just confirmed that, basically. But
yeah, for me, not too far off what Jill was saying, but her bio was the main thing, really. She kept her bio simple and straight, and left some breadcrumbs to want to get to know her. and not just leave everything on there or say something like, oh, if you're not a cat person, don't swipe or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Nobody needs to know.
That always annoys me.
Yeah, nobody needs to know. And she kept in terms of her profile pictures that she chose, she kept all about her. Like she wasn't hiding between 3 friends or had a picture of her and an elephant, cleaning an elephant. Like, okay, well done. You're a humanitarian. I understand. You just write that in your bio. You don't have to give us a picture. I can ask. I'll ask you. But whatever. Yeah. And I just knew that. Yeah, this person is an adult. This person is intellectual.
Yes.
Yeah. And obviously, because I swiped right first. I swiped first, and then she was last.
Yeah.
And
then I slid into the DM.
Yeah. And we just had this, like, we continue.
I kind of want to know what was that message you sent, Gio?
Oh,
now I want to know what it was.
I think so. Obviously, in his bio, it said, if you swipe last, I dare you to message me first, something like that.
Yes.
And then I think I just messaged him and said, I think it was something like, I saw your dare and I took it, so hey, or something like that.
I like that. You didn't overthink it. You just said it as it was. I like it. That's really good. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I think one of my first responses was like, okay, brownie points. Yeah. And I'm a gift guy as well. I know. I think she was like, well, did he respond with a gift? I think I responded with a gift, like 1 or 2 sentences into it.
From the day we started talking.
Yeah.
Group chats and Anthony's gifts. I'm like, how did you get these so quickly? I'm there like searching for a gift, like what would and Anthony's there like popping.
Mine's already here.
Because he uses them so much and he knows exactly which ones to use.
I feel like gifts bring out my character. I need to have my own. I need to start
you actually do. I feel like that's something you should expand to Anthony gifts. For real.
It's a walking gift.
Yeah, I need to have my own.
Walking names and gifts.
Yes. We talked about what drew you to like the initial attraction, I guess. What would you say has kind of like maintained, what is your secret to like maintaining the relationship and like through ups and downs? And if you want to share any of your ups and downs.
Oh, that's a big question. Like we can that's that hit my chest.
That hit him right.
No, sorry. No, that's a big question. It kind of has to be broken down into a few key bits.
Okay, let's start with how do you say you've maintained it throughout? Like, what's been the constant thing that's maintained your relationship so far? And hopefully we'll keep going, obviously.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Big thing that I'm sure everybody will talk about is communication.
Yeah.
Straight up.
100%.
There's no 2 ways about it. Just being 100% transparent with the person that you say you love or the person that you're in a relationship with or in a partnership with,
Yeah.
Was this something?
Yeah, I definitely think communication, because it's just even comes down to the smallest. If you don't communicate even just a small thing, it can just cause like a massive disagreement. So like we always just make sure to communicate, even if like we're not happy about something, like a little thing. We just always like, I can't not tell him, because it's just how we are. Like we just tell each other everything. Like even whenever we're feeling like upset about something or happy or whatever, like
I think it started from the very, very, very beginning as well. When we first started talking to each other, like, and because we knew what it came from, we had the mindset that okay, this person isn't going to be in one relationship, neither am I. So why not just be honest? And because we both felt that we weren't going to lose anything. If I'm honest with her from the beginning, so I don't want a relationship, and she's telling me the same. If she does find somebody else, then no harm, no foul for me. Do you know what I mean? I had my chance, I blew it because I didn't want a relationship, so she left. And that's what the series of how dating goes in your 20s.
Yeah,
that's the conclusion of how dating goes in your 20s.
Yeah,
like that's I've seen and heard so many people be like multi-date, and I never really understand multi-dating. I never understood it anyway. And it makes sense to be like, talk to as many. It sounds really weird when you say date. Okay, people's definitions of relationships are different, and like when a relationship actually starts. So to some people who are like probably like very to the T and traditional and stuff, like dating is the moment you start talking to somebody and there's a vibe. It's a courtship. It's like the getting to know each other, you're already like a thing, and that should be full commitment. However, when in an online dating platform, for example, like if you're still swiping right, left, whatever it is, that's the right way round. If you're still looking for somebody, but you're talking to other people, if for some reason you just know you're not vibe, like this person is not matching like the characters, like it's just a clash, or you just don't feel as yourself as you want to, even though you might be, basically you can be an honest person, and whoever you're with, even though they're being honest, you're just not, there's still no compatibility. And that's why you still got to kind of keep them options open and keep looking and hoping that the right person will come along that you'll just gel with. And even if it then like, because there's times when you'd match with somebody and you gel, but you're like, this, nah, I just see us as friends. Like it can't be anything more than friends.
True.
It doesn't have to be a boyfriend. It doesn't have to be a future husband or wife situation. It can just be like, wow, you make a really good friend, and you want to maintain that. And as long as that's communicated as well, so he's not thinking, oh, this is, whereas you're thinking, oh, this is a good friend, and he's thinking, oh, this is wifey, and you're like, no,
yeah, you're right.
I also,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I also think as well, like at our age, like we're only getting older now, so it's also that whole, like, I think if we weren't as open and honest as we were, just I think it wouldn't have been as like straightforward. Does that make sense? Because so many people, I think, still to this day find it hard to like be open and honest.
Yeah.
So I think that probably causes a lot of problems.
The one thing that always angsts me, always, I hate that you see a message and not respond, or you'd be like, oh, I've seen, even though you leave it unread, but you're like, I'll just wait for like a couple of hours to respond. I'm just like, that's such childish situations. Like, just say, if you I told my brother never do this to a girl ever, because I just think it's rude and disrespectful. Message and you're free and you've read the whole message, just respond in the moment. If you think your response is going to be a long essay, just be like, hey, I've acknowledged, like, okay, I've seen your message, I'll come back to it, remind me if I don't. Like the basic communication that there's these younger generations, or the games feel like they have to play to seem interested or not so interested, even though if they're interested.
No.
So please tell the people, talk to each other.
I think that's
just talk to each other.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say like that. I think that's kind of what drew us to each other as well, because we were both so open and honest from the start. That, like, I think for me, like in my past, I hadn't really had that, to be honest, with any guy. It was like rare, really rare. So like it kind of drew me towards him even more. And I don't know, maybe the same for him, for me. Because and it just felt like so natural to be honest with him.
Absolutely. My God, she understood. Like we weren't, it's almost like we could just, our energies just like understood each other. It's weird to explain. And we just knew from the get-go that I'm going to be honest with this person. If things change,
even like knowing.
Exactly. And if things change, we communicated. And to be honest, things did change. There was during our dating phase, before we officially became in a relationship. During our dating phase, there was a time when we got to, I can't remember. It was sometime like in the summer, towards the end of the summer.
It was about 3-4 months into when we weren't like official, but we were like seeing each other, as they say, like like dating, still getting to know each other.
That phase.
There was a time where we actually took, I think, like a few weeks apart, a few weeks break, because he was saying that he didn't want anything serious, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna like just like leave you to it, basically, because I was like, if you don't want anything serious, like, So I decided that we should have stopped things anyways.
But at least I communicated
But he communicated it.
So that I didn't want to like string her on.
He was honest from the start about this, by the way. Like, he didn't like lead me on the whole time. Like, he was honest from the start.
One thing I had as well, and I don't know how many males have this, is I had like female friends like yourself, and one or two others who I could go to for advice and say, oh, this is how I'm feeling about this girl. This is how she's feeling as well. But me and her on the same wavelength. So, what should I do? What happens here? And then my female friends will always tell me, oh, say that to her, communicate that to her so that she knows. And if she leaves, then at least you're not hurt, and she's not hurt either.
Everyone's been honest.
Yeah. And that's what I did.
Get you some male friends, some female friends who will tell you the truth straight up.
Agreed.
I remember you saying like
females always will do that.
I think I remember you saying that to me, and I was just like, just tell her. And if she can't, if like she wants to leave, then that's fine. Like you're being honest. You've said your bit, and there was no point in the relationship where you ever defined it before then to say it was going to be anything real, like serious, and all of that jazz. And so when that happened, and you're like, yeah, we've called it quit. And I was like, okay, as long as like that's what it works for you, and you communicated it to her, and I know like it was a mutual like decision, then that was fine. And then I feel like it was like a few months later, you were like, so me and Gio are back, and I was like, oh, okay.
He couldn't stay away.
I just remember, I feel like you and Tan had a conversation first, but I wasn't involved. I wasn't privy to that conversation about like you thinking of getting back together with her. And then I'm pretty sure we went to lunch. It was at lunch at some place, and I was telling you like something about myself. And then you then were like, yeah, me and you are going to try and work things out. And I was like, okay, Anthony. Okay. And I remember asking you why. And you just were like, I kind of just realized that I actually miss her. Like, I miss that vibe, and I missed it. And I was like, you know what? Talk to her. It's not like you ended things on bad time, but it wasn't like bad vibes when you guys like hold it.
No, it wasn't.
So I was like, just communicate it back to her. If she feels the same way, make it work. If she doesn't, I'm sorry, man, but maybe just bad timing. And
that's it. Yeah, it's true. No harm, no foul. Like,
no harm, no foul. You just realize it's good to like have that, like, okay, yeah, I do definitely wish that didn't. And it's okay to say that. It would suck if they didn't come back, but you said your truth. That's all that counts.
It's so true.
Communicating is key. And in that communication, be honest. That's the lesson.
Yeah, big time.
And you know, something else just came to my mind, because I think a lot of guys as well have a lot of pride. And I think for a lot of guys, it would have been hard for them to like swallow their pride, come back to a girl that they're actually thinking like, actually, I could be serious with her. Because they'll be like, well, I'm kind of going back on my word. And, you know, I think it might be hard for guys to do that. But the fact that he done that just showed me a lot.
I think, I feel like, I know it sounds bizarre, but I always low-key, I'm like, this is why guys need to have female friends. Like, friends, female friends will tell you as it is and be like, look, you have been a fool. Or, look, sort it out, give you in check. Or like, okay, yes, this is an advice from a girl's perspective. Go do this. And also, actually, if they're girl friends that you trust to always be honest with you, you would follow their advice straight away. And
so true.
Yeah. So in terms of like the pride and stuff, I think there comes a point where a guy just needs to understand that you don't know everything about everything. You don't know, like, if you're not understanding the way your emotions work. I know it's a bit too feminine to say this, but like, just go talk to a woman, talk to a female that you trust about it, because we deal with emotions all the time. On a monthly basis, Mother Nature's like, today you're going to cry, tomorrow you're going to laugh, next week you're going to, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I feel like women understand emotions more than guys. So if that's what you need, have that female like friend and person that you can talk to and confide in about stuff like that and get it in check. Because if you're somebody who wants like a full like relationship, married life, all of that stuff, definitely something they can learn from.
So,
it's also good the other way around as well, for females to have male friends, because I think it's important to get a male's friend's perspective as well. Because I have like one particularly close male friend, and like I think I was shut up.
I had to throw that in there.
Acting like you don't even like. Anyways, and I just remember talking to him about it, and he gave me some good advice as well. So I think it's important, like, vice
Both
versa.
ways.
Yeah.
My guy friend is actually and tan. Those two combined, they balance it out somehow. It's to work it out for me. But yeah, I definitely agree. Have yourself a male friend, have yourself a female friend, like respectively, and people that you trust as well that would always be honest with you, even when you're being the fool.
So true.
Yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah, like Gio's right. Having to hear from somebody else that I was, I'm wrong, that I'm in the wrong. It's a hard pill to swallow from somebody else. Like, this person doesn't actually know your whole life. But that's not the point. They just see it from a much more logical perspective. Whereas obviously I'm acting
even not outsider's point of view.
Yeah, that as well. Not necessarily acting out on emotion, but my emotions is not allowing me to think rationally. You know, so having somebody else think about it from an outside perspective, I'm just like, ego check. Let my heart just sink a little bit. Like, where's that pain coming from? Numbness in the face. I have to check it. But
that exactly that part. So, in the course of your relationship, even through the dating and all of that, like you've just talked about a down, which was the part where you guys took a break from each other. What would you say is like your highest highs? Like, what's like a highlight for you guys so far? I know there's going to be so much more to come.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
I just
so far.
Making my way downtown. Literally, the minute you said it, my mind just like,
oh my God.
Going way back.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I don't know where to start. I should have put that music on. That would give me an indication.
You completely thrown me off.
Highs. One.
Oh, highs are wrong.
A big high would definitely be our first trip.
Yeah.
Although it may not be big to many people, to us it was a great thing. For me, anyways, I've obviously been in other relationships, but I've never taken a girl abroad and asked her out.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention this.
Yeah, so we went out to Amsterdam and we had something that was supposed to be a 3-day holiday turned to a 5-day.
Yeah, because we'll come
like you gave that away, but we're gonna come back to that.
Oh gosh,
that was a big one. Our first ever holiday, and it turns out that we got into our relationship from then.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute. I remember this. Yes. Y'all look good on that date as well. I remember this.
Oh, thank you.
Like, talk about coordination.
I know. Because you asked me.
I told her to I didn't tell her and nothing was going on. I just told her that the theme of the evening was brown, so go crazy, and she just went and picked out a brown maxi dress, just a dress inside, and it was amazing. We had dinner, then we went to the rooftop bar, and we just had a great time.
Yeah, it was so nice.
Amsterdam was funny as well. Oh man, we laughed so much. Like, the thing is, nothing changed for us as well. It's almost like we were already doing what couples do, and then we got the title, and then we just continued.
It literally was just, that's why
dating through the relationship, that's key as well.
It just feels everything just felt natural. Like just got the title and that's it.
Cute. What's your high?
Okay, so obviously Amsterdam is definitely up there because obviously it was when he asked me to be his girlfriend. I would say obviously over lockdown basically threw us into living together, which was really fast, obviously, because we were only with each other
coming up to a year,
even earlier.
Yeah.
So so we just kind of got thrown into that, and at first it wasn't easy. It was hard because we weren't used to being around each other that much every day. So we were arguing, it's normal, I think. And then, but now, no, I'm sorry. But now, it's gonna let you lose my train of thought again. But now, this is why it's a highlight for me, because we've learned so much about each other. It's ridiculous, and I think we wouldn't have had that opportunity so soon if this hadn't have had happened. So I think it's actually been definitely a highlight and a benefit for us, because we've learned each other's boundaries. We've been able to respect each other's boundaries. We've like just learned about more about each other's character, and it's made us stronger as individuals and together, and we've just grown so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say that's a highlight.
And I'm grateful for that as well, in terms of that being a highlight, because I have spoken to a couple of my couple friends who are male, and they said it's been tough for their relationship for the lockdowns because they haven't been able to see their missus.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that. Because some people don't have the privilege of not living at home or
not living alone.
Or not living alone and things like that. So, you know, it's been tough to see their other half.
Yeah, I do have a few friends in
this has been grateful for us. Some people had to take flights to go see their boyfriends and girlfriends. That's Can you imagine? I mean, we're just here. So
anybody watching this who's in a long distance relationship and you're making it work,
honestly, well, that is not easy. But it's worth it when you have the right person.
Yeah,
it's all worth it.
That's another thing for sure. Like when it's the right person, it would work out eventually. You guys, it will make sense to keep fighting for that relationship to work. So keep going at it if it's the right person. If it's not, and you feel like this is it, call it quits. But that's don't listen to me. I'm the single one. Anyway. So for us single people, me, what advice when we're looking for our partner's future person for like our life person, what things would you like advise actually for like girls to look for and guys to look for? So I don't know if you wants to do the girl advice or you want to like switch it up and see what each person thinks.
Let's switch it up. Yeah, cool. So what do you think guys should look
what do I think guys should look for in girls?
Like their life partner.
That's hard.
I'll let you think. I'll go. So in terms of what girls should look for, somebody that is 100% like transparent for sure. Like just this person doesn't hide any of their moves. Whatever move they're making, whether that's a financial move, a move for their health, a move in terms of like geographical location, things like that. Let a girl know, bruv. Let a guy, let a girl know. That, you know what I mean? Like if so that she knows how to plan her life, not plan her life, but you know how to maneuver and know whether this person I'm seeing is going to be my life partner or not, because you know they're moving or their health is deteriorating or they're not there financially or whatever. But you know, again, it's the thing. Don't look for a guy that's got ego. If a guy's got ego, he's not going to want to share most of like his insecurities with you.
Right there.
Yeah, if a guy's got ego, he won't want to share his insecurities. Do you know how hard Jill was not even telling you, it was really challenging when lockdown happened, because like obviously I had my own ego and my insecurities were showing, and it was tough for me to be around Gio and see all my insecurities, because I always want to deal with it myself. You know, I don't want anybody's help. I just want to deal with it myself. But it's tough.
And then I think just adding to that, like that was another thing, going back to what I said about the highlight, because I think you learn that like I'm here to like support you, and like even if you're feeling like that, like just tell me and be open, and then it's better because I can like, because I'm like, I don't know, because we're both, if like Anthony's feeling like upset about something or I'm feeling upset, we both lift each other up. So I think like you've learned that now, that I'm here to literally lift you up and like be like snap out of it. Like
I used to get very snappy because I used to see her as an antagonist, but obviously she's not an antagonist. She's trying to help me get out of the slump I'm in.
It's because he wasn't used to it though.
Not
used to having a woman like me.
Yes, queen. Yeah.
I just have to say.
Oh, I love it.
But
I haven't even the guy side.
Yeah. So okay. So what I think a guy should look for in a woman. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I think a guy should look for in a woman, definitely a woman who has her head screwed on, someone who's like, just got somewhere that they're going in life. Ambition, somewhere that they're going, financially stable, because you don't need that. You don't need, if it's hard to have someone who's not financially stable, because you'll kind of feel like if you're the only person in a relationship with money, it's just not healthy.
Yeah, ain't nobody want that.
So yeah, definitely financially stable, definitely good morals.
Oh yeah, that part.
I'd say family orientated is important. And someone who can be just honest and transparent, like you said.
And I think for both definitely be patience.
Oh yeah, patience
is another one. Some people don't have time. Girls will say, oh, they run out of time because of fertility timing.
That's
guys a lot of guys will probably tell you they've got too much time because they don't need to rush into marriages or rush into having children and things like that.
Patience is a good one.
But yeah, all of that, man. And I would say as well for both people to remove. Some people use age as a limitation to where a man should be or where a woman should be.
Yeah.
Some people use race as a limitation to where a man should be or where a woman should
height.
be. And some people use height. It's true. Where a man should be or where a woman should be in their life.
Oh, that was something I was going to say. It's definitely steer away from these little height, race, all of that. It just doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Literally all you need to look at is the person, and if you can see yourself growing with them, your goals aligning in the same direction, your characters, your energies match, that's all you need. That's literally it.
Agreed.
And someone who can be your best friend as well. Yeah, which is what we found.
Oh my god, we laugh almost every day.
Literally.
When you were doing your little intro, you were just talking about Jill and the office, and she was just dying. She's busting up now.
Those are really good advices. Find somebody that you can be fully transparent with at all times, and they can embrace you with all the flaws and insecurities that you think you have.
Yes.
Don't somebody 100%. That even now, friends that I have and guy friends that I have, I'm happy. If you're having a bad day and you feel, and I message you and not know you're having a bad day, and I'm just saying, hi, how are you, blah, 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 blah. And you, even if it's a bad day, I would love for whoever I'm with to be able to say, look, I'm having a really bad day. Maybe I'm not in the mood to talk today. Can we talk tomorrow or something? I'm cool with that. If I'm is there anywhere I can help? And if it's just by me just sitting with you virtually, I don't know what the heck sitting with you could look like now in COVID times, but you know what I mean? Yeah, somebody who just that you feel that even if you don't think, especially at the beginning of a relationship or in the dating phase, if you're not able to, if you feel it's too early, I can't show all of these, which again, understandable because you don't know if it's going to work out or not. But if for example, if I say, how are you to somebody and you say, I'm fine, I'm going to assume you're fine and I'll keep talking to you.
Yeah.
But even though nowadays we all know fine might mean not fine, but if you're I'm really having a bad day, and I go, what is going on? Of course, I'm interested. So share it with me. Somebody who's open enough. And if you feel I can't share with this person, maybe that's a sign that they're not for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, your point on not focusing on the physical. So heights. Even though I'm a short person, so I'm low-key I'm not gonna lie, I'm a height person.
Okay.
I am short. I kind of it's just for me, the height is not and this is not number one on the list. I'm not focused on that. If I meet somebody tomorrow who's either not as tall as I'm looking for a 6-foot man, just putting that out there. I'll get it. But 6 anyway. But if you're I don't know, you turn out to be 5'7" or something, which is still taller than me, so you know how short I am. And we vibe and we get along and everything's going well. Why not? If you're my person, you're my person. That's how it works. And if I'm yours, I'm your person. So not focusing on the physical definitely is key. Because a lot of in the online dating world that COVID has basically COVID has moved everything to online now.
Yeah.
Yes, I have signed up. Ooh, which is weird to even say out loud. But and I'm very like specific. There's certain things that I just can't, like, for example, faith and religion compatibility. Like, I come from a Christian home. I've been raised Christian all my life. I know I want my kids to grow up in a Christian home. So of course I want to be with a Christian.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, on top of what you're saying, your standards will definitely help you eliminate all the rest of what's in the crowd.
Yeah.
Your standards will allow you to eliminate for sure.
It's so important to know. That's something else. It's so important to know exactly what you want in a partner.
Yeah, because like
in a husband or wife. Because
before me and like when we first started, we've been on various dates, and we just knew that this person
relationship.
No, the way their mindset is, or the way they are. After one date, you just know. Yeah, and it happened between before we matched.
True. Yeah.
I would say like what was it? I think a while ago, probably like pre-COVID. That's literally how I'm doing my time is now. Pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID.
I don't really know what the year was anymore. I think it's one of those things. I went on one date and it was fine, and then I mentioned in passing that my dad was a pastor, and this guy literally hung on that, and I was like, oh my God, that means you must like be the closest to God. Like you're like, I'm not that good at Christian. And I was like, and that was it. That ruined that date for me completely.
Yeah.
When someone's just hung up on the most minute information, and I was just like, okay, this is not happening.
Yeah, no.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's even though it might look good, everything's going well, there's some things that you just think, okay, why are you like? I felt like on that date, honestly, I felt like he was putting me on such a pedestal with God, and I was like, my dad is the pastor. Like, I have my own relationship. Like, what are we on about?
What are you doing here? Like,
you know what I mean? Like, that's one of those. Like, I also don't like tardiness. Like someone being late. A few days. Like one other date I went on, the guy, normally I would be like, I'll choose the place just because I can be in control and I can get out when I want to get out, if I want to get out. And this guy was like, oh, there's this place and I was like, okay, cool, I'll meet you there, thinking he's made a reservation and everything. I got there, he was late, but I was like, okay, I know the restaurant, that's fine. I walked in, I was like, is there a reservation on this name? And they were like, nope. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go back and sit down in the car.
Oh my gosh.
And then I'm calling this guy to be like, where are you? Like, stuff's not working out. Everywhere I've tried to go into other restaurants around, they seem to be booked, blah, blah, blah. And this dude wasn't picking up. 30 minutes later, I was like, okay, I'm going home. Like 30 whole minutes.
Yeah.
30. And then on my drive home, I get a text being like, oh, I'm just on the bus over. And I was like, nah. Like, how are you still traveling to our location? No. And I know you live in that town. So it's not like it was going to take you that long in the first place. So it just meant you knew a date was coming up at, like, let's say it was like 8:00. So you're leaving your house at 8:00. Like, what the heck is that? You know what I mean? And little things like that. I was like, okay, cool, on match. You know what I mean? Like, things. There's something like over text and over like communication online. You don't see those like little things, and then. They're literally just pet peeves of mine that just, I was like, okay, so you're not for me. Like the few good days that I've had have been good just because we ate, we had a drink or 2 drinks. Well, I was driving, so I didn't actually drink that much. But, I didn't drink. But it just worked because we just chatted like we were friends. And that's the thing, like you said, the best friend part, that's the part I was coming to. Like, think of them as just your friend. I know it sounds bizarre, but maybe it's just my parents. Maybe it's a generation that my parents grew up in. I feel like they feel you need to go into a relationship being like, that's the person. Like, you're going to be my future wife. But I'm like, if we're not friends and I don't like you before you got to like somebody before you love somebody, in my opinion.
Definitely, yeah.
So if I don't like you, as in we're going to be friends.
Yeah.
Of loving you is the way I see it. And I know they're just probably hearing all of this for the first time. So, I think your points are clear in the terms of like, make sure there's somebody you're friends with, and like you can see yourself. You are going to be best friends, basically. At the end of the day,
it's having.
Make sure you communicate honestly, because you can communicate and be dishonest. communicate honestly.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And also, like, you know what like values you maintain and your morals, because Joe mentioned the morals part. Make sure you're like morally you're both in line, like you're both on the same wavelength, and then there's no and that would actually help with the communication and the honesty aspect of things as well, hopefully, anyway. That's the plan. So any final words?
Yeah, and I think also like making sure your goals align is like definitely up there. That's an important one. And also I think it helps if you're not actually actively looking sometimes, like if you're not looking for a partner, because you know, like I know it's easy to just say like, oh, I really want to be in a relationship right now, I'm ready, you know, like you're ready to be with your one, like find that person. But then I find if you're looking for that, then sometimes you might be looking for all the wrong reasons, because you're just looking to be in a relationship. But you need to look, you shouldn't be like seeking it. Like I think the best love always comes when you don't actually realize that it's there. Does that make sense? Or that it just like naturally happens.
I actually like that.
Yeah.
So when you're not looking,
because
that's basically what the good thing.
It's a testament to our relationship as well. Like I wasn't looking for a relationship, hence why we stopped seeing each other for a couple of weeks, because I wasn't looking for a relationship, and I said to myself, no man, this is not the year. I refuse. I just want to date.
I remember that, because it's a year where I focus on my career. I am new job, and you were so very determined that like I am
I refused.
And then a few weeks later he was like, so I'm gonna be calling Gio. And I was like, okay, she must have been good for him to want that. Damn. I was like, okay, Gio, what you do? Lord. No, but it's so good. I like your advice. And I think for a lot of young adults, it is dating is not what it used to be anymore. We all know this. Like from when our parents used to date, so grandparents used to date, to what it is now. It's not the same, which I feel like it's so much harder now. That's what is so much harder to. And when you have, for me anyway, the background and it gets to a certain age where your parents are like, so a husband, and you're like, y'all literally told me to never have a boyfriend in life, and all of a sudden like, you know what I mean? Like, and then they expect you to just all of a sudden like be able to click with somebody, or like, and they're like, are you praying about it? And I was like, yes, of course I'm praying about it, but at the same time, I'm not just going to go like the first person to come along and be like, oh, I want to make you my wife, would be the person. What are you doing? Will be the person.
He's just taking the piss out of me.
Always.
So yeah, I think it is difficult. So if you're out there finding it difficult to date and find your person, if you're in that place where you're looking for your life partner, it's fine. I'm here with you.
It's not
trust me.
I'm not saying I won't even say it's a struggle. It's just like take it at your own pace. Like do what you do.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly, they could come along, like Gio said. When you're not actually looking, they come along.
And usually what happens. Yeah. To be honest.
And you never know, you might have even met them and not even realize it was them.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I agreed. Yeah.
It's true.
And like another example I always give is like my parents. My mom always says to me that, oh, she went to marry a guy who's 6'1", 6'2", blah blah, because she's 5'8", and God said no, he must be 5'1", or 5'2", or whichever one he's at. My mom's a whole 5'8", you know, a whole 5'8". So yeah, there you go. Unexpectedly, she got the opposite of what she, her preference.
That's true. We have there's a saying that says like, we have our plans and God has a purpose.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
100%.
We can make all the plans we want, but God is like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I want to just put some.
I think that's what it's saying.
Spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's everything for this podcast. I love talking to you guys. This is our first proper catch up
I know.
This is the first time I've actually talked to you in depth about your relationship, which is
I think so.
Where that we're recording it as well.
I think it's because obviously like you've known from my side
You haven't really heard from me.
Gio.
Yeah,
You've always heard it from me. Like I went up from even from minute one when I first met her. I was like, so Sharon, this is girl, yeah.
I remember this.
But home,
I think you texted it. I think we were on the phone and you WhatsApped me, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, oh, send me a picture. And then he sent me a screenshot, and I was like, oh, she is pretty. And I was like, okay, Anthony. And because I remember being like, I don't really know what Anthony is like. Again, people having types, but like I was like, oh, so. But from seeing, I was like, okay, I like that. Like it's not. I don't even know if I thought of what your type was, but I was like, oh. Yeah. That makes sense. Like it just made sense. Like cool. And then when he talked about the way y'all vibed, and when I met you, and I was like, yes, makes sense. Even amongst ourselves, I don't know if I've ever told you this, Anthony, but like the way you both hype each other on your social medias, dang.
Yeah.
Like your hype game is just so strong. It's
we always do.
I love it.
I think it's so key, like as well, to have that, like hype each other up, be each other's hype man or hype woman.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's important.
That. Keep going, y'all.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Love you.
We're teaching each other our languages as well. That's another thing we're doing.
Yeah, we've been teaching each other our languages.
Our lockdown challenge, if you like to put it that way.
So you're teaching Gio Igbo, and Gio is teaching you what? Portuguese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know you spoke Portuguese. Wait, how
didn't you?
That? No.
Oh, she got
I speak Portuguese.
She got a little song.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Oh God. Oh, that's so cool. I like it. That's pretty awesome. So, I'm expecting Anthony to like bashing out sentences in Portuguese.
Oh yeah, big time. I'm putting it there. What, Portuguese or Igbo?
Portuguese.
Oi, tudo bem?
Yeah.
Meu nome Anthony. You don't know.
Okay.
My name is Anthony. It was close.
It was close.
But oi tudo bem, yeah, that means hello, how are you?
Oh, I need that.
I'm telling Sharon what it means.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
On that note, I will say thank you and goodbye.
Thank you so much.
I'm so glad you guys are on the podcast. I'm just like, I'm so happy.
It was really nice. It was fun.
So
I don't know why I was nervous.
Exactly. It's just be yourself. But for everyone else that's listening, any of the advice that they gave that you think, just put a thumbs up in the comments or send an IG to just let me know that like you guys are loving this. And if you want to see more of Gio and Anthony, give the video a thumbs up. Because as you can see, the vibe and the hype is always.
I would definitely be up for doing more videos.
Just let me know. Have a good Valentine's weekend because Valentine's Day is on Sunday, and I will speak to you guys soon.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.